personnel required to run the industry 2021, SB 663, second reading.
A bill for an act to establish the Institute of Bitumen Management to provide courses of instruction, training and research in bitumen technology and to produce technicians and other skilled personnel required to run the industry 2021 second reading taken. And the bill is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund to report back within 4 weeks. Is it tertiary institutions or science and technology? Huh? I think it should be in science and technology. Or both. No, but it's supposed to be science and technology. Or solid minerals. Okay, I think it should go to solid minerals. You are right. The bill is referred to the Committee on Solid Minerals and Steel Development to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the second order of the day is the second reading of the FCT School of Nursing and Midwifery, Abuja Establishment Bill 2020. The distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Tuesday, 24th November 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the distinguished Senator Mohammed Sani Musa to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Senator Mohammed Sani Musa.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District. I stand to lead a debate on the Federal Capital Territory School of Nursing and Midwifery, Abuja Establishment Bill. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, thank you for giving me the opportunity to lead the debate on this very important bill for the establishment of the Federal Capital Territory School of Nursing and Midwifery, Gwagwalada, Abuja. The bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Tuesday, 24th November 2020. The FCT School of Nursing and Midwifery, Gwagwalada, is the only institution for training of nurses and midwives in the Federal Capital Territory. It came into existence in 1981. The schools have been the major producer of nursing manpower to health institutions in FCT, its environs, and the country at large. The impact of the graduates of this school is also felt globally. The schools have the whole country at its catchment area, offering admission to candidates from all states of the Federation. It is good to note here that my constituents have been one of the most beneficiaries. The objects of the college shall be to provide training and research in nursing, midwifery, and other specialists of nursing, leading to the award of degree, professional certificate, diplomas, and other post-basic certificates. To provide avenues for continuing education in nursing, midwifery, and other specialties of nursing, and to provide such services that are necessary and incidental to the objects of the college. The school, in its 40 years of existence, have no enabling law establishing it. Several previous attempts have been made to obtain this law but could not scale through. Consequently, up till date, the school could not be upgraded to a college like its counterparts in other parts of the country. The lack of this enabling law has made the school to lose their previous provisional accreditation by the regulating body, Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, NMCN. Though the School of Nursing has been barred from further admission of students this year, 2021. If this bill is not obtained, the school stands the chance of being scrapped off. Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria has mandated all training schools of nurses to go collegial to be closed down. The enactment of this bill into law will upgrade the school to a degree-awarding college and enable it to establish other campuses across the 6 area councils of FCT, thereby boosting admission intake. The school is therefore to further advance knowledge through research and nurture unique innovations, entrepreneurship, and wealth management in its core area of interest. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, the enactment of this bill will help in transforming the health and educational fortune in Nigeria, in producing the desired medical manpower and expertise that Nigeria is yearning for. I wish to state that there is no financial implication to this bill. All the operational structures are already in place, as the school has been in existence for the past 40 years. I urge you all to support this bill for the second reading. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar.
Thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, I am Sadiq Suleiman Umar. I represent the good and decent people of Kwara North, and we all are. Mr. President, I rise to move that this bill be read for the second time. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, my support for this bill is not unconnected to my position of never getting tired of emphasizing that our health sector is a key sector we must continually pay attention to if we have to get developed in this country. Mr. President, it is sad enough that after almost 40 years, 4 decades, this school has no legal backing, and it right now stands the risk of losing its authority to continue to provide the manpower need in Nigeria generally and in the Federal Capital Territory in particular. Interestingly, Senator Sani Musa, my brother, sponsored this bill like he admitted that his constituents are one of the key beneficiaries of this institution. However, being in FCT, all of us seated here, our constituents are beneficiaries of that institution. So, Mr. President, I urge all of us to support this bill, to pass swiftly, so that we can save this school, so that our constituents can continue to have the opportunity of getting trained, and they can add their quota to our health sector, so that we can get to where we want to get to as far as development in this is concerned. Mr. President, I so second.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, and I'm Mohammed Adam Aleru, representing Kim Central. Mr. President, it is very, very important for us to support this bill because the college has been in existence since 1981. Unfortunately, there is no enabling law. And as a result of this, many courses could not get accreditation by the accreditation body. It is sad to note this. And right now, students are no longer applying for admission because of this non-accreditation. They prefer to go to other institutions. So this is a very simple request. The college is already in existence. All it requires is enabling law to continue to, to operate. So there is no financial implication since all the structures are there, and also the teachers, supporting staff are all, in existence. There is no financial implication, as I said earlier, and I think it's a very straightforward bill. It shouldn't take much time for debate. We should go ahead and approve the second reading of it, and I urge all my colleagues to do that. Thank you very much.
Senator Surajuddin Ajibola Basiru.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dr. Surajuddin Ajibola Bashiru. I represent Osun Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I think the nature of the bill, from what has been as stated by Senator Musa Mohammed Sani in the lead debate, is a ratification bill, because as it were, on the fact of establishment of the college, it is already in existence. What is being sought is to make a law that will ratify and give necessary legal status so that the establishment will enjoy the legal autonomy and also the benefit of accreditation and proper restructuring. And considering the seriousness of health issues and medical issues in the context of our global situation, creating the legal backing for this institution will not only aid knowledge in that area, but facilitate necessary manpower for development of our health sector. And the importance of this cannot be overemphasized. So I also support that the bill not only be given a second reading, must be given accelerated consideration by the necessary committee. I thank you, Mr. President.
Is anybody against the bill? Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal Capital Territory College of Nursing and Midwifery and for other related matters 2021, SB 571, second reading.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal Capital Territory College of Nursing and Midwifery and for other related matters 2021, second reading taken. And the bill is referred to the committee. Is it on health or FCT? It should be FCT. Yes, the bill is referred to the Committee on FCT to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is the second reading of the Nigerian Correctional Services Academy Establishment Bill 2020. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Wednesday, 25th November 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Olalekan Ramoni Mustafa to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Distinguished Senator Olalekan Mustafa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Lead debate on the bill for an act to establish Nigerian Correctional Service Academy in Abuja, Establishment Bill 2021 SB 545. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'm delighted to lead the debate on the bill to enact an act to establish the Nigerian Correctional Service Academy in Abuja, Establishment Bill 2021, to serve as an institution of high-level manpower development with a mandate to train officers and men of the correctional service to acquire and attain the highest standards of professionalism and award such certificates as may be approved by the relevant academic regulatory body from time to time and for other related matters. You will recall that this bill was read for the first time on Wednesday, 25th November 2020. The Academy was established in 2010 and has trained different levels of officers of the correctional service. This Academy will provide strategic leadership training to the Nigerian Correctional Service, which is most desirable in the administration of criminal justice system. It is the desire of all Nigerians to live peacefully and cooperate with all. Nevertheless, no defense apparatus could live in pure idealistic way. It has to be very realistic and remain prepared for any emergency. Hence, the need for proper training that will provide for an effective coordination between security services and other aspects of the country's economic, industrial, and administrative life, including the country's foreign policy. The establishment of this institution has become very desirable and a positive necessity to meet the security of our correctional centers as they are likely to be in future. Nigeria has been battling insecurity and had to face these problems continuously for a considerable period now. The Academy will develop a broader outlook and understanding, out of which will grow a broader strategy. Mr. President, the setting up of the Academy will serve as a multi-service institution that will provide future decision makers with necessary skills and background for filling senior positions in the service and associated fields. The Nigerian Correctional Service Academy can also provide joint training and instruction to both junior and senior service and civil officers and will be under the administrative control of the Ministry of Interior. The study at the Academy will relate to strategic, economic, scientific, political, and industrial aspects of national, internal security and correctional service matters, which will not be limited to the scope of study, but also the aim will include an examination of internal and external threats to the security of Nigeria, as well as possible trends in the future. Such studies will include analysis of diverse factors, such as security policies of states and that of the federal government, conflicts over vital economic interests or territorial claims, and factional, communal, or political differences. Members of the course will also analyze formulation of national strategy for the administration of our prisons. Objectives of the bill. The bill is to provide the legal and institutional framework for the already established academic institution responsible for high standard training and award of certificates in the correctional service. If this bill is passed into law, just like other similar security organizations, the Academy will provide for the conferment of the highest academic qualifications, training, and also provide for equipping of our correctional service corps with the required knowledge and skills that will be recognized by other institutions the world over. The proposed institution will therefore outline a comprehensive academic and skill program that will equip our correctional service with the technical knowledge to execute its mandate of providing effective management and security of correctional centers in Nigeria. The Correctional Service Academy is expected to be the correctional service to the correctional service what the Nigerian Police Academy are to the Nigerian police. Overview of the clauses of the bill. The overriding principles behind the introduction of this bill is to provide the legal and institutional framework for the establishment of higher institutions that will bridge the noticeable gap of lack of a recognized higher institution to train correctional service officers. The bill has 36 clauses, subdivided into 6 parts, with the following as the main clauses. Part 1, clauses 1 to 14, incorporates the establishment, objectives, powers, bodies, and officers of the Academy. Part 2, Clause 15 deals with the Academy's property and transfer of property to it. Part 3, Clauses 16 and 17, incorporation of provisions relating to the statutes of the Academy and procedures of statute. Part 4, Clauses 18 to 24, addresses the financial provisions, namely funds of the Academy, financial year of the Academy, keeping of proper record of accounts, estimate of income and expenditure, annual reports, annual audits, and direction on account opening. Part 5, clauses 25 to 29, incorporates the supervision and discipline, matters relating to visitation of the Academy, removal of chairman and member of the council, removal of Academy provost or member of staff, suspension of staff of the Academy, and duty to serve instrument of removal. Part 6, clauses 30 to 36 covers miscellaneous and general clauses relating to disposal of land of the Academy, powers of the bodies established under this bill, seal of the Academy, powers of the Council to make statutes, Public Officers Protection Act, Cap P419 LFN 2004, interpretation and citation. This bill has first and second schedules, with the first schedule dealing with the principal officers and their functions, and the second schedule dealing with the transitional provisions as to property, functions, etc. Conclusion. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, in view of the foregoing, I urge you all to please support the speedy passage of this bill. This bill has no financial burden on government, as the Academy is already in place with the full complements of directing officers and staff of the service. Thank you for your kind attention.
Senator Barrow Jibrin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Senator Barrow Jibrin.
I represent Kano North in this August Senate. Mr. President, please permit me to first of all commend my good friend for having the foresight in the first place to bring forward the idea of establishing this academy. He did that when he was in the 6th Senate, and he made sure that the academy was built, and as we speak, is now being used to train professionals who are working in our correctional service. It is an institution like what we have in the police force, where we have the Nigerian Police College, but Police Academy. Hitherto, there wasn't this institution. I give kudos to him, and now he's bringing forward the bill, this bill, in order to give the institution a legal backing. It's something that is commendable, and we should not only stop at this. We should do all within our powers to improve on what he has done, particularly in this period where correctional facilities are being threatened by those who don't mean well for this country, who try to destabilize these facilities by instigating attacks on them. So I think we need to do more, and the federal government is doing very well in establishing more correctional facilities. But those who are to man these facilities should be further trained. We should give them more training using this very, very important academy that has been established through the efforts of our colleague, Senator Leko Mustafa. Therefore, I call on my colleagues to make sure that we give this bill a speedy passage because of its importance. I commend the efforts of Senator Leko Mustafa, and like I said earlier, let's all come together to make sure that we improve on what he has done so far. I say submit, Mr. President. Thank you.
Is anybody against the bill? Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian Correctional Services Academy to serve as an institution of high-level manpower development with a mandate to train officers and men of the correctional service to acquire and attain the highest standards of professionalism and award such certificates as may be approved by the relevant academic regulatory body from time to time, and for other related matters 2021, SB 545, second reading.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian Correctional Services Academy to serve as an institution of high-level manpower development with a mandate to train officers and men of the correctional service to acquire and attain the highest standards of professionalism and award such certificate as may be approved by the relevant academic regulatory body from time to time, and for other related matters 2021, second reading taken, and the bill Haba. The bill is referred to the Committee on Interior to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fourth order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development on the Agricultural Research Council Act Amendment Bill 2021. The distinguished senators will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Thursday, 19th March 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Abdullahi Adamu, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Distinguished Senator Abdullahi Adamu, Tirakin Kefi.
Thank you very much, Excellency, Mr. President. very distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Abdullahi Adamu and represent Nasarawa West. It is my privilege to rise to lay the report on a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters 2021 SB 118.
I need a seconder. Senator Mohamed Adamalero.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, I remain Mohammed Adam Aril. I like Mr. President to second that the bill for enactment, the bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and other related matters 2021 be out for the second time.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive and consider our report, the report of our Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Chairman, you may lead the report. Chairman may present the report.
The report on a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters 2021 SB 118. Introduction. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at its sitting on Thursday, 19th March 2020, read for the first time the bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters 2020 SB 118 and referred same to the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development for further legislative action. The bill sponsored by Senator Abdullahi Adamu seeks to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria ARCN Act 1990 to, among other things, provide for the reconstitution of the membership of the board of the council, appointment of deputy executive secretaries and assistant executive secretaries, include the condition of service of staff to be as applicable in the universities, establish the Federal Colleges of Agriculture, Federal Colleges of Cooperatives, and Federal Colleges of Land Resources Technology, and the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization by placing them under the control of the Council. The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, through this bill, will prevent the brain drain from research institutions and federal colleges of agriculture to universities by appropriately revising the condition of service to align with what obtains in the universities. The bill also seeks to dissolve the governing board of all the research institutes established under the Act and proposes that the Board of Council should exercise control and powers over all the research institutions so established. Finally, the bill repeals the National Agricultural Research Institute Act 1964 and the Research Institutes Establishment, etc. Order 1975 and proposes the transfer of staff of the Institute to the Council. Observation. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ARCN, was established as a body corporate to manage and coordinate research institutes as well as federal colleges of agriculture. These research institutes and colleges are self-accounting, headed by executive directors and governed by boards appointed by Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Act, when amended, will be similar with sister agencies in other countries like Brazil, India, and China. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this bill seeks to reduce the proliferation of boards by establishing only one board to manage the research system, seek extra budgetary sources of funding research, establish the Federal College of Agriculture, and to bring other related research centers and federal colleges under the ARCN. In addition to these, the bill seeks to improve linkages between all organizations with mandate for research and extension in agriculture. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the establishment of a single board to manage the agricultural research system will grossly reduce the proliferation of boards. It will also bring together the federal colleges and other related research centers, thereby improving the linkages between all organizations with the mandate for agricultural research and extension. By this amendment bill, agricultural research will experience the much needed reform, thereby improving the sector. Recommendations. The committee strongly recommends that the passage of this bill into law will provide the legal backing and regulatory framework for the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, thereby creating a robust research regulatory system. Conclusion. The committee would like to thank Your Excellency the Senate President, distinguished colleagues, for the opportunity given to us to serve in this capacity. Thank you. So, this whole report.
Any comments? Leader of the Senate Committee of the Hall.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion for the Senate to resolve into the Committee of the Hall to consider this report. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate resolves into Committee of the Hall to consider the report clause by clause, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. This bill has 17 clauses, and because there were some amendments, I will go clause by clause. That may be slow, but necessary. Those in favor that clause 1 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 2. Those in favor that clause 2 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 3 retained. Those in favor that clause 3 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 4. Those in favor that clause 4 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 5 on page 6. Those in favor that clause 5 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 6, we are on page 8. It's retained. Those in favor that clause 6 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 7. Those in favor that clause 7 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 8. Those in favor that clause 8 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 9 retained. Those in favor that clause 9 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 10 on page 14. Those in favor that clause 10 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 11. Those in favor that clause 11 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 12 on page 17. Those in favor that clause 12 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 13. Those in favor that clause 13 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 14 on page 19. Those in favor that clause 14 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 15 retained. Those in favor that clause 15 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 16. Those in favor that clause 16 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 17. Those in favor that clause 17 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the interpretation stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The short title. Those in favor that the short title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the schedules stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion for this chamber to resume plenary for the chair to report progress. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the Senate reverse the plenary for the chair to report progress, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Tinubu wanted the chair to be retained there. The Senate and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development on the Agriculture Research Council Act Amendment Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 16 as recommended, clause interpretation as recommended, short title as recommended, the schedules as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
My highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion for this bill to be read the third time.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that this bill be now read a third time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters 2021, SB 118, third reading.
A bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters 2021, third reading taken, and the bill is passed. Well, thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. Let me, by way of remark, say that however much we desire to get the agriculture sector in Nigeria to contribute meaningfully to our GDP and, in fact, diversify our economy, we have to change some of the ways we practice agriculture in Nigeria. It has to be scientifically based, technologically supported. We have to improve the yields of our various, maybe livestock. We have to improve what we do when we go to our farms. I believe that this is a very important bill, and I hope that the executive arm of government, when this becomes law, will put it into practice. Thank you very much. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fifth order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund on the Nigerian State University, Ajakuta, Kogi Establishment Bill 2021. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Thursday, 3rd December 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Ahmed Bakaita, chairman of the committee, to move a motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Who is? Who is going to present? Distinguished Senator Ahmed Bakaita.
Represent me.
Okay, you want Senator Samegu to present on your behalf? Is that? Okay. Distinguished Senator Samegu.
I am Senator Sam Egu, Ebonyi North. Mr. President, on the permission of my chairman, I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund on the Nigerian State University, Ajakuta, Kogi State, Bill 2021, SB 393. I so move.
Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Sadiq Suleiman Umar. I represent Kwara North. I rise to second the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian State University, Ajakuta, Kogi State and other matters connected there with SB 393 Establishment Bill. I so second, Mr. President.
Those in favor that the Senate receives and considers the report of our Committee on Tertiary Institutions and third fund, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have. Chairman, distinguished Senator Samegu, you may lead the report, please. You may present the report, it's okay. You may use your mic, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Report of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund on a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian State University Ajokuta Kogi State and other matters connected herewith, SB 393, sponsored by Senator Yakubu Oseni. The Senate at its plenary on Thursday, 3/12/2020, debated on the general principles of the bill for the establishment of the Nigerian State University Ajokuta Kogi State, and for other matters concerned herewith, SB 393. The bill was sponsored by the Distinguished Senator Yakubu Oseni. After extensive deliberations, it was read the second time and referred to the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund for further legislative action. Objective of the bill. The core objective of the bill is to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian State University Ajokuta, to provide for training, teaching and instruction of students in every aspect of technology and engineering and such other fields of skill development, applied learning relevant to the needs of the development of education in Nigeria to meet learning and research needs of prospective students in professional areas of meteorological and engineering and technology, not limited to the following: aluminum fabrication, AutoCAD training, computerized numeric control, theory of management, total productive maintenance, mechanical, civil, electrical, and electronics engineering.
This is where we prepare young people for today's live broadcast of Senate Plenary. At the moment, Senate has passed a bill that seeks to establish the Institute of Bitumen Management. That bill has passed second reading. The Senate has also passed a bill that seeks to give legal backing to the Federal Capital Territory College of Nursing and Midwifery Establishment Bill. Then at the moment, Senate also considered a motion by Senator Emmanuel Boacha, which has urged the Acting Inspector General of Police and the Police Service Commission and the National Judicial Council to investigate what he described as alleged unlawful detention of 14 indigents of Taraba South Senatorial District by the State Police Commissioner. Well, at this point in time, we'll hand you over to our studios to continue with the scheduled program for the day. I am Ignatius Unko. Enjoy the rest of our programs.